Oh, hello. And we're back to Isaiah. And we're going to look just at three verses this time in chapter 51. And we come on to some of my favourite chapters in Isaiah. I've got lots of favourite chapters, to be honest, but never mind, lots of favourite books. It's usually the one I'm working through at the time. But anyway, let's read these three verses. Listen to me, you who pursue righteousness and who seek the Lord. Look to the rock from which you were cut, and to the quarry from which you were hewn. Look to Abraham, your father, and to Sarah, who gave you birth. When I called him, he was only one man, and I blessed him and made him many. The Lord will surely comfort Zion, and will look with compassion upon all her ruins. He will make her deserts like Eden, her wastelands like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be found in her, thanksgiving and the sound of singing. Now let's just remind ourselves of the situation that this was speaking into. Israel and Judah they'd been defeated, they'd been carried off into exile. Judah off into exile in Babylon. And this had happened because of their sins, because of God's judgment upon them. There are places in Isaiah and in Jeremiah where God says, I am against you. And they're under the oppression of this all-powerful state. And they're there because of their guilt. And yet God speaks salvation. And the natural question would be, how can this be? How can things possibly get better? How can they be restored? How can any good ever come? And we can think the same about our own lives at times. How can things improve? But this is what God says. And note first of all, God knows that we're thinking like that. He knows that his people are asking these questions. And he says, first of all, you who pursue righteousness, who seek the Lord. Look, the salvation it's not just for, you just want your life to be better. It's about seeking God, about pursuing righteousness. But to these people, and if you're just looking to get your life better, that's not what God's speaking about. You who pursue righteousness, who seek the Lord. It says, look to the rock from which you were cut. Hey, it's my Abraham and Sarah here. And they're so long gone. And there's been such a disaster of a nation. As a human race, we were created in the image of God. Now we've rebelled and abandoned God long, long ago, many times over as a people, as a race. But God still calls. He says, look to the rock from which you were cut, to Abraham and to Sarah. He was one, but one. Of all the struggles they had, even to get one child. Yet God made a numerous nation out of them and said, your descendants will be more numerous than the grains of sand in the desert or the stars in the sky. And says, God will surely comfort Zion and look upon her with compassion, on her ruins. Hey, God knows the circumstances of your life. He knows the situation. He knew the situation that Judah was in. He says, I will look with compassion upon you. I will make your deserts like Eden and your wastelands like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be found in you. This is the promise of God. Now, in one sense, it punctures our pride. See, we've got such an innate desire to be righteous in our own right, on our own merits. When God He warned people of Israel before they went into the promised land. Don't think I'm giving you this land because of your greatness or your goodness. When you get there, don't say, this has happened because I'm good, because I'm powerful. It has happened because of God. In Galatians, Paul was appalled at them. He said, you started out so well. You started out in faith. But now you think you can progress on your own merits. And we're so prone to doing it. We think, oh, there's got to be some righteousness within me. Some goodness within me, which makes God look on me with favour. It's not true. And in one sense, that's utterly humiliating for us. We're utterly dependent upon God for everything. But it's also full of hope. Because the times when either the circumstances seem utterly beyond us and we know we're not in control, or the times when we're brought face to face with our own sinfulness and we know there's absolutely no righteousness within us of our own merit, God's promises still stand. Joy and gladness will be found in you if we look to Christ and trust in him.